Hello everyone, greetings dear Aristobats, fellow immortals and mortals yet to be claimed by the night. Welcome to this lady's humble abode. Today, having finally completed the notes on shorter storyline, we can finally get to Getian's backstory. Let's get into it. Flowing in the wind. And there. Do you think we're going to see Getian as a baby? I'm going to scream. A fine spot to rest. The bird perches in the nook of a tall tree, but not long after he hears branches breaking beneath him, the sudden cracks startling him from his rest. After a brief search, he finds no sign of danger and returns to his roost. A moment passes and the forest is quiet once more. I was on the steppe near the upper reaches of Palin River when I met Yenisei and Besmert. Oh, we're not starting from his past? Okay. That being so, then I should be near there soon. It is, of course, abundantly clear that this verdant forest is nowhere near the steppe he's looking for. Realizing his mistake, he sighs unconsciously, then takes out a bone flute from his belt. I must go with the flow. That was what the hexagram instructed. Yet, one who is lost should not...
Now.
Sorry, guys. I thought he was just going to sigh. Yet, one who is lost should not be afraid to seek help, if necessary. As he gently flaps his wings, a melody trickles out from the flute. Soon, the melody draws the attention of the forest birds. They close in, landing on the branches around him. He's a Disney princess, you guys.
Please.
I'm in need of some help. Oh, he's going to ask information from them? I'm traveling to the steppe that begins at the upper reaches of Palin River. Could you show me the way? I was waiting for a bird to show, I'm sorry. No, I'm certain it's called Yenisei River, but it is most strange that the river shares its name with my friend. So where is this river then? Can we take a moment to appreciate that he called Yenisei his friend? Look at our unsocial little birdie boy finally admitting to having friends. Socializing, that's the way, boy. That far? Truly. How is it that I became so turned around? Well, it would take far too long to fly back now. Might as well take a look around here. I will go with the flow. He likes saying that. Getian lifts off with the bow, flying high to the sky to look for a new closer. I hate when they do that. The flourish of the forest below shrinks until it's only a small stroke of green on a white canvas. A mountain ridge is painted into the scene, one end sloping downward to the cut of the river, while the other end stretches out, coiling across the landscape to the steppe land that lies far in the distance. The trees below him grow more scattered and sparse. Those that remain tower tall and straight, with needles instead of broad leaves, standing out like tiny brown dots on the painting. Then icy fence ahead capture the blue of the sky and freeze it into ice, and a dusting of snow covers dry brown soil as if it were salt sprinkled across a marble table. I don't know which of Reverse's writers wrote this, but they're very poetic. Like throughout the story there have been some descriptions that sound very, very poetic. Among the boundless white caps and fields of snow, a handful of buildings sparkle with lights, drawing the bird's attention. What do I see here? Getian glides back down towards the desolate patch of ground. Oh, she's so beautiful. Someone has piled grain hair. He watches for a while, but sees only squirrels and hares moving about, carrying out mouthfuls of looted grain. There seems to be nothing else around, no sign of a house, nor even a person. Perhaps he might stay the night and fill his empty belly. And so Getian lands softly in the yard and finds himself something to eat. That's it? That was short. Ooh, I like this. I saw it on Twitter too, but from the distance I didn't click it because I didn't want to be spoiled. But that's a pretty drawing. Let's go to stage 1, dripping inside the hourglass. I just gradually regain insight. The bird espies the furnishings of a simple office and the face of an old man staring back at him. The old man, with a face both worried and confused, seems to be reiterating a previous statement.
Just now?
So you've said your name was Getian Yamping, and you've come to the city in search of 2 lost belongings. Is that correct? The eagerness in the man's tone finally drags Getian's wandering soul back into his body.
Exactly.
Yes, you may call me Yamping. So that's your name? Getian was your short name because of your species?
That's no matter.
Forgive me. My mind is scattered. Must be in need of rest after my trip. Whatever else do you need to know?
Hold on a second.
Well, we've made a mock-up of your belongings. Please check if they match your description. We've never seen anything like these particular items in our city, so I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to tell us a little bit more about them. The old man puts the files aside and unfolds 2 pieces of yellowed paper. Take your time. Let me know if there's anything incorrect. Yamping pins the pictures down with his wing and checks them over carefully. Yes, it's a good rendition. You should know the wand is made of bone and the pendant of jade. So are these valuable in any way? No, not as you mean it. The wand itself is no more than a common tool, used to cast arcane skills, but no different from the calligraphy brushes, flagons, or brooms other people use.
I see.
Oh, so you use it to cast your arcane skills? The old man nods thoughtfully, before following with another question. You just said it was a common tool. So where you're from, arcanists don't need any sort of special wand? Flagons, brooms, swords, sticks, even, you said calligraphy brushes. It seems like anything could be used to cast arcane skills.
Exactly.
I'm sure you've seen it yourself. Arcanists are everywhere, even here, I presume. And you must know it is the caster's will that triggers a skill. The tool is only a medium, a matter of style rather than a necessity. Getian blinks at the man, confused at his strange ignorance of such basic precepts of arcanum. The old man seems to read nothing into Getian's stare and continues. Well, was sort of remote. So many things are different here. I try not to assume. I didn't mean to offend. I only was curious. We have arcanists here, of course, but we know little about those outside of our community.
That's no matter.
The world is vast, indeed. That's true.
That being the case, let's...
So then, this bone wand is your top priority. We're short of manpower right now, but I'll have it found. No. I love when he's mad, I love it. The old man wrinkles his face in surprise at the bird's response, yet he comes to rest back to a smile again. As you said, the pendant is of no great value. To be honest, it seems quite ordinary. I think it's unlikely it will be stolen. But the wand is a different case. The consequences of such a tool ended up in the wrong hands is certainly more severe. Nonetheless, we will try to have them both returned to you.
Thank you.
I only meant that I can't say that the wand is a greater priority to me. Yeah, but you did say that with a scowl, my dear. That's why he misunderstood. Oh, somebody pat his head. He's so cute. I'm sorry, guys. I'm such a simp. Why is that? The wand is an arcane tool. I can only guess it must be more valuable. Oh, the pendant was given to him by somebody. The old man must have sensed Yamping's hesitation, so he cuts himself off to ask another more pointed question. Of course. I should have asked first, which one is more valuable to you? Now he's thinking, okay, this old man is stupid. I just reacted to your saying that the wand is more important, so what could be more important? Okay. Getian replies with silence. Only the rustle of the feathers and the drip drops of a water clock can be heard. The worn stone floor is smooth and cold, proving uncomfortable to stand on compared to a brunch. Getian folds his wings, with claws tapping on the stone floor gently.
I
cannot say. I should need to think it through before I give an answer. Surprised by Yumping's response, the old man leans in with interest. I see. Please take your time.
That being the case, let's...
We may need to wait some time for your belongings to be found. You're welcome to stay here and talk with me. I happen to need help with some questions of my own. Of course, you can ask me any that you have as well, whatever comes to mind.
Please.
By all means, go ahead. There is a young girl who runs a tavern in the city that has gone missing. We searched every corner, but still haven't found her. She was wearing a red dress with a blue-green top. Did you happen to see her before you entered the city? No.
Huh?
She is a friend, a foreign merchant of the same age with red hair, very eye-catching. Would it help at all?
My apologies.
No, it would not. Excuse me, what is this conversation even? He literally saw Getian with Besmert and the red horse. So what is he asking? Like, why is he asking him like they're foreign matters to him? Please search your memories. They might have been near a bridge. A bridge? The word conjures up a memory. Indeed, there was a bridge, built over the cliff, broken in two. Many have tried to make it over, and nearly as many failed. At least the skeletons below tell me so. Okay, I'm a little confused timeline-wise because... Firstly, this conversation is probably happening because they confiscated some of his things when they captured him. Alright? So this shows us this story is after the events of the main story of this patch. Second, he does mention both Basmet and Yenisei in the beginning. And suddenly, Li Zhang over here is talking about Zhu Nyangzi. But Getian looks like he doesn't even know who she is. Guys, do you think that their memories had been erased after Zhu Nyangzi jumped to the other side? But then again, Basmet and Yenisei didn't. You know what? We're going to continue, but I want you to keep in mind some things. One is that Yenisei and Basmet remember. Two is that the people from the city remember Zhu Nyangzi, so it's not like she hadn't been there. Three, the team of Yenisei and Basmet do not remember what happened to them. They thought everything they experienced was a dream. But Getian over here, number 4, answers Li Zhang's questions as if he doesn't even know who Zhu Nyangzi is. And what about the other side of the bridge? I recall further on there are trees, yes, then rivers, then mountains, and a heavy fog that separates the place from here.
This should not be.
The ones you're looking for would have no reason to jump that gap if they could ever manage it. He places a certainty in his tone as if to stop the old man's questions or at least convince him he in fact hasn't seen them. Oh, he's pretending, okay. Yet now he feels a rising uncertainty inside himself. We will have to expand the search then. I hope they're alright. He thinks back to the bridge, as well as the parting that happened there. There was a building on the other side of the gap, and yes, someone did jump across it. Someone in a striking red dress, hard to miss against its plain surroundings.
What about Junangse? She jumped over the bridge. Is she never coming back?
Perhaps we will meet again. One day.
Zhu Nyangzi. The memory and the name pop up in his mind, but for now he has to put them aside. The old man remained locked in his stare all this time before breaking the tension with another question. Did you remember something? Not that is of any use.
My apologies.
There is nothing I can do. Never mind then. We should talk more about your, my wand, perhaps? I presume you wish to know how to use it and whether it may do harm to you.
This should not be.
We have spent too much time circling about each other.
No.
Circling? No, I take no
That's no
mind of
matter.
it. I will tell you what I know. The old man puts on a shocked face. Its contours look strange for his age, like a momentary glimpse of a younger man.
Exactly.
As I said, this wand is not of any great power, but it has its uses to me, and I would have it back. I will satisfy your curiosity, but then you must return it at once.
That's right.
Certainly. We're not thieves, after all. As I'm just a visitor here, and you my host, all I can do is make a humble request. Somehow the request comes across as more of a polite warning. Yet the old man seems not to tense the implications at all. He heaves a sigh of relief and nods along with Getian. No problem. No problem at all.
All right.
Good. Things are simpler when the truth is out in the open. I will tell you about my wand, but first you need to answer my question. I can plainly see your bones don't fit your appearance.
Are you disguised as someone else?
Okay, I love his skill. You already have your answer, don't you? Is he a shangre? But I will answer your question only after you answer mine. He slightly nods and signals to Yamping.
Please.
The plot thickens and you leave me on cliffhangers. Stop! Stage 2, a flood of memories.
Life in the mountain is indeed carefree.
Dang it, are all Gutians this handsome? Damn it! He doesn't even have eyes and he looks cool. Listen, there's a wind, the rustling leaves, and the chirping birds. All much more beautiful than that awful racket that humans make.
Do you think so, Yanping?
Oh, so the G's are Yamping. You don't hear the G very much. Okay, thank you for pronouncing it for me. The bird called Yamping moves carefully to the trunk of the tree so he could hide in the shadow.
I don't.
I've never left the mountain. Which is more annoying, the noises made by humans or those made by animals? To you, I think, they would both be annoying, just in different ways.
It seems.
I admit, listening to the daily conversation of humans and their haggling in the market can sometimes be interesting. Is that so? Birds, like any intelligent creature, can have different personalities and hobbies. One can tell the differences between them by listening carefully to their chirps. One might be loud and talkative, while the other makes only a few short sounds in reply. They do invent many new and useful things, some that maybe you will need one day. Like bricks. Our nests have been much better protected since they showed me how to make them.
Exactly.
That's true.
Like this.
And the technique of making beautiful melodies with bamboo and wood with holes, or the doodles they draw that can hold their words.
And then...
They can even measure time using something they call a calendar. They can see into the essence of ordinary things and dream up wondrous creations from them.
If you look at the world like a human does,
You
will
will
probably be shocked by its vastness.
It is.
Yamping. I know you don't care about humans, but I feel I should tell you everything I want to say. Yamping moves back to where he had stood before, right next to the other bird, their wings rubbing against each other with feathers puffing out. So, you're living too. Well, it's only a matter of time. Good luck. Thank you. In a rare moment of silence in the tree, one of the birds stretches his wings to cover the other. Aww, you're still unwilling to leave the mountain. Is it because you can bear to stay away from home?
However,
I simply have not found a reason to leave.
It seems...
Your time has not yet come, I guess. But that's fine. We need someone to take care of our nests and belongings. I leave my books and instruments to you. Oh, so it's like when the bird is going to be ready to leave the nest, kind of a simile to that. Simile? Is that how you call it? And I claim to be a writer. Congratulations, lady.
You are the first one born in the Central Plains after we migrated. I think you will adapt to the environment here faster than we do. We are so used to living high in the sky. When we look down, both the cities and the people are no different from dirt piles. Only by living among them can we truly experience the prosperity described in the poems. I think you will leave the mountain one day.
Not for now, at least. It's not yet time for me to think of such thing.
Fine, fine.
Just as well. You glide slowly, just like always. Hopefully I'll be useful to our people one day. I don't want to become another lazy bone always snoozing beneath a tree. The seasons changed. Beasts and birds came and went away, and the traces they had left behind were gone in less than a day as the leaves fell. The stream flows downwards, and the wind blows its course night and day as always. You've returned.
Who? Oh, it's you, Yanping!
Whose bones are these? Not your friends, I'm afraid. I will take them all to our temple. You may check them yourself, should you wish.
All right.
I will. Quite some time has passed, yet still you choose not to leave the mountain.
Well,
Given
given the
us-
situation of our race, I guess you'll be the last one left to take care of our bones. You will have to leave one day.
Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder. Now please leave me alone. The bird, robed in loose clothing, stretches its wings and flies towards the point of a roof far away. It is a fine weather for a nap.
Both the mountain and the human world are between the sky and the earth. Are they really different? Anyway, the breeze feels comfortable now. I should take a nap.
There are so many bones left in the temple. It could take 100 years or even more to read through each one's stories. I might have a long life, but I'd still rather spend that time on the things I'm actually interested in. These stories have nothing to do with me. There is no need for me to leave the mountain. The beasts in the mountain remained there for several generations until the rocks in the stream had been polished smooth. But the scarlet tree where the birds rested remained as green as ever. Our kind has not had a new generation for a long time. I don't think anyone will be able to collect my bones and move them to the temple if I die outside this mountain. In that case, then the tombs here would eventually be buried by weeds. We migrated and followed the humans. We started from different cultures. We put so much effort in prolonging the lives of our people.
Yet, it was all in vain, as I expected.
What eventually led him to leave the mountain was a summoning. In layman's terms, it was like a wordless awareness or calling. Every member of his race would have felt it. Whenever it happened, they each would fold their wings and lower their heads, and the bone collector would set off to where the bones lay. Better make it quick. It's not far. Good. It's not too close to the human city. I won't be interrupted. He must have been on his way back to the mountain, but didn't make it. No matter.
That's no matter.
I'll take him back. From his view high in the sky, spotting the white bones strewn across the green foliage was a simple matter. Seeing his target, he folded his wings and landed. We meet again. This is not the skeleton of a fellow creature from his clan? If yes, do they turn to full birds? Can he too turn into a full bird? He examined the skull beneath the cloth and felt for a second it peered back at him. The wilderness was silent, as if a place were long abandoned. Like how they used to, he kept a bit of a distance, but this time the bones did not hop forward to meet him. One wing covered the other again. You know, I often wondered why every bone collector would eventually leave the mountain just as you did. Was it the scenery, the people, something else? You left to help humans build cities and bridges, even sort out water sources and gave them your so-called advice.
What is your purpose?
There was no reply. He hadn't cast the arcane skill that might allow the skull to speak. Yanping lowered his head and found a line of ants climbing through the hole in the skull.
To verify that you have learned the right knowledge? To offer help to the creatures similar to you? Or you just simply could not resist the desire to do so?
Yanping stayed there with the silent bones for a long time, before he took wing again. No matter. Well, my dude, if you're staying on a mountain your whole life, you will eventually get bored. I mean, let's be real. I think there is this innate feeling most humans have that they want to explore things and situations. Like, I'm an introvert, sure, I enjoy staying at home mostly, but there are things I'm curious about and that I sometimes feel like exploring. For example, I don't mind doing things at home, okay? But I do get bothered if I stayed at one place at the same time. Like, for years, I hate where I live. It's not a place that offers me the opportunity to explore things. There isn't much to explore. Perhaps if I was at a bigger city, there would be more, but here, So I kind of get it. Like, sure, in his case, he mentions that his clan left in order to help people change things. Either that, or to expand the knowledge of the clan, bring back something that would help their clan flourish. But yeah, I think that people will always seek for a purpose to fill their lives with. Some have smaller goals they want to go after, some others bigger, but they can't stay idle. It eats your life away. And people think that, only extroverts do that, like they go out and grasp life from the hair or whatever they want to call it. But I think that also introverts have this issue that they can be stuck at one place at every part of their life. They do have things they like to explore, like extroverts do, for example. So I'm guessing this is how his clan ended up leaving. For one reason or another, people just looked for ways to not stay at one place, and then when they get everything they're after, return to the nest and expand the clan or whatever they wanted to do. But like he showed us, some would come back, others wouldn't, because their goal wasn't to bring knowledge or expand the clan, it was to help people or to do other things, Anyway.
Oh man, whether great or ordinary, will end up a pile of bones.
There's nothing else I can say. It's time to return. And since I mentioned the mentality that the clan could possibly have, we should also mention Getian's mentality that some people are just... It's not that they aren't curious, they're just fine with what they have and just don't see any meaning in going somewhere else, Such people do exist too, but these people that say things like, I'm fine with having a simple job that I go every day and just come back to home and just enjoy the little things, and this is my life, I'm happy with that. They think they don't have some special purpose, but just going to work to get money to survive and come back home and use your free days to enjoy the little things you like, it's also a goal, it's also a dream, It doesn't have to be big. So in Gutian's case, while he doesn't see a reason to leave the mountain, he has apparently plenty of reasons to stay so far. Like, he doesn't have a goal outside to go yet. That's what his friend also said. So yeah, I'm thinking lack of purpose beyond the mountain so far, but also perhaps fear. Because part of him not only doesn't see reason to leave the mountain that is safe and quiet and whatnot, it's also fear. Sometimes just people won't take flight because they're afraid. It's hard leaving what gives you comfort behind, but you can gain comfort in new places if you so wish it, or explore not far away from the mountain, like I said. Like, if we take the introvert's example again, he could explore things around the mountain. He doesn't have to go all the way out like the rest of his clan did. But yeah, the two mindsets, it can be attributed to real people is what I'm trying to say, and I'm just repeating myself. Let's go to part 3. Want something. I didn't read the full title when I clicked it. For as long as we draw breath, we're migrating. And then, at the moment of our death, we're reduced to bones in an instant. Thus, we take our people's bones with us wherever we move. It is our way. Okay, so they don't stay in the mountain forever, they're migrating all the time and as a group, but this time they didn't migrate as a group, it appears. And he's the only one who's not into migrating all the time, apparently. I don't know, this is what I understand so far. And then they take their people's bones wherever they move. That's a lot of bones to carry. Will you do that all by yourself? This one's not merely a tool for me. So now he suddenly speaks without E's and R.
I see.
It's a typo, I get it. So then the bone came from
Exactly.
my clanmate's wing. I learned how to carve from humans so that I might make this wand. He reads the old man's reaction, hoping he might capture some clue from his response. The old man raises his eyebrows, mouth slightly open but wordless, eyes open and fixed straight on him. It is shock.
My apologies.
If I've caused offense, there may be cultural differences between us. So then you're a bone carver. What a surprise. I know of a place that would be perfect for you. It is called... Okay. Something tells me this is not a Chinese name, so I will try this as I read it. Nizhny Novgorod? Is it Russian? Cool name, isn't it? There are many craftsmen there, and they make lions, tigers, reindeer, and even dragons out of bones. Their handicrafts are used as accessories on sheaths.
Oh my.
Can you imagine that? Legendary creatures coming to life through simple engravings and old bones. Calm yourself, sir. He literally told him, chill, old man. Otherwise, I think I may have to cast a calming arcane skill. Come on, let the man be enthusiastic, damn!
No.
Oh, please don't worry, I'm totally fine. I'm not rabid, I'm only happy for you. Oh, character development. But I almost forgot. I promised to tell you everything, so I don't think you would like to see this false image anymore.
Hold on a second.
Oh? Oh? A second later, the old man's image fades away like a drop of ink in the water. Oh my god! It's the sweetheart! Dude! The symbol! He's one of us! He tidies up his appearance already distant enough and begins again more seriously. Alright, please allow me to introduce myself one more time.
You may call me Leonid, Hey You, or Employee. The name doesn't matter. Just pick one to make communication easier.
Hey, you? Oh, he looks so cute!
In fact,
I work for the St. Pablo Foundation. I don't think you would know of it, but it's an organization which provides support for arcanists and collects their information. So far it has helped countless arcanists. And now I'm filled with questions. Like, 1, how did you get here? 2, for how long have you been playing this old man? 3, oh wait! Oh my god, this on top of everything. Is Bay City immune to the storm? If it is, then it makes sense for an arcanist to be here already and, keep control of things, because if the storm comes again, it can be used as a shelter or for anything else that other bases are used. Oh, it makes so much sense. But it's just so surprising. Why didn't you show you were an arcanist to people who were arcanists before, just working for a different department of the same foundation? I'm mind blown. I'm upset and mind blown. I work at the Russian branch. Like the other branches, we're committed to helping arcanists. It's part of our duty. He's in the same branch as Basmet and Yenisei. My headphones fell. Excuse me. My headphones. Okay, what I was saying. Yeah, he's in the same branch as Yenisei and Basmet. Why were you hiding behind the old man?
like this?
For example,
Or that?
if you were attacked by critters, when you take a nap on the park bench, call us. But try to make sure you hadn't just drank too much vodka first.
Seriously?
In truth, I love this job. It gives me the opportunities to get in touch with new things and people. Like you, a rare case even among arcanists.
I owe you an apology, to be honest. We were going to catch those big critters with corn and wheat. You know, they haunt this place in winter. Never expected to see you here. We thought you were a new species, but you are... F-man? So they got me here just in case.
Getian has little sense of most of the technical jargon the now young man is speaking, but manages to capture the key information. Maybe he wasn't here the whole time. Maybe he came after Yenisei and Besmert left and asked to deal with Getian's case, specifically as Li Jiang, to investigate more about him, find out more about him. Because that would make this less mind-blowing. Like if there is a real Li Jiang somewhere and just gave him the position now to do this and get to know Getian better.
My apologies.
Please, you don't have to do anything. It was I who ate the crops without permission. I should repay you for them. So how much are they?
It's okay.
Oh, only a few charbonneties. I've already forgotten. Now back to bone carving, seriously. Please, wait, what is a charbonnety? A currency widely used by Arcanius. I heard it has become popular even in the East now. Have you never seen one before? If you mean the things people use to trade, the one I usually see is a round coin made of copper, with a hole in the middle. Though where I'm from, many people simply barter. They look into each other's eyes, each bewildered, not sure what to say next. They're two very different creatures, each from a very different culture. Well, I'm not sure I see how to carry on our current conversation. Let's stop the artificial somnambulist and find another place to talk. The artificial somnambulism? We're not even in Pace City, people. Alright, I thought Getian just went down to get something to eat, and that somewhere had been Pace City after Yenisei and Besmert left. But apparently it isn't.
So...
Please close your eyes. I'll take you to a room where we can sit.
Alright.
What on earth is going on? The corridors of our branch can be kind of narrow. You may find your wings brushing along the wall. I will be careful.
I hope to.
I have another question.
Please.
By all means, go ahead.
Really?
It seems there is no language barrier between us. Is that part of your arcane skill? By the way, the grain you ate was soaked in liquor. You were passed out drunk when we found you. We mistook you for a strange critter, but then your wand glowed. My colleagues screamed as if a pack of bears and blues had broken loose in our branch again. I had it confiscated for now, and I took your pendant too, just in case. Now I understand. I was so confused at first.
My apologies.
Yes, our languages. It's my arcane skill working. I apologize for you finding me in that sorry scene.
It's okay.
More than fine with it. Our team didn't suffer any trouble, we've seen worse. Here we are. The austere room places metal wherever one might expect wood, leaving the room with a monochromatic grey hue. The layout imposes a feeling of strictness and cold. Combing through the experiences he's witnessed through others' bones, Getian can only think of one place that would look this way. Is this a prison? You know, I told them to use more color in the room, but they didn't listen.
Seriously?
This is sadly a bog standard office of the Foundation. You've caught on to its bigger drawback. It does give the impression of a prison to anyone with even the slightest care for aesthetics. Maybe it's to make us more eager in the field. Who knows? Please take a rest. A seat. He pulls out a chair for the bed, gesturing for him to sit, then sits on the opposite side. Something round drops from between his fingers and onto the table. This is a Sharpodonty. Hold it if you want. Just be careful, might bite you. It does bite? He's probably trolling, isn't he? It looks similar to the coins I know, only that a hole in the middle. It seems your kind have a preference for cats. It's a lion. A much larger animal. Imagine a cat larger than this table, with a mane, a loud roar. Hey! You try to eat it? Leonid grabs the Sharpodonty immediately and puts it in his pocket. The pocket continues to make a racket of gnashing teeth and ineffectual anger. This is a splendid coin. It would be most difficult to steal.
Sorry.
Yes, though, I never thought it would bite you. Usually Charbonnetties only bite humans or when irritated. Oh my goodness, they do bite. Our money bites. Okay, that is new for me. Okay.
You look like a decent bird.
But I wonder if a lion likes being petted like a cat does. Well, from what I've seen online, they do like it, but you have to befriend them somehow first. He admits to himself frankly that he likes being petted too. Oh, let me pet you, my headphones again. I like petting, so this will work. You've come a long way from home, though. That makes me think you're the curious type. Now, before we move on, I must clarify the Foundation does not intend to violate the privacy of any arcanas.
In fact,
The following questions are based on the information I have collected from the artificial somnambulism. It's a special circumstance and I hope you understand. To show my sincerity, here's your wand. He takes out a long bone stick from a hidden place and pushes towards the awkwardly seated bird. You've shown some trust in me, so I think I should trust you in return. Few would close their eyes in front of an arcanist they just met without hesitation. Your bones told me that you're a straightforward person, all deceptions aside. They also say there is something you want from me. That's why you are being so friendly. Getian leaves the wand on the table, waiting for Leonid's response patiently. After all, he received many such offers of kindness from the people beyond his mountain. Wherever they were, they all shared one thing in common. There was always something they wanted. There is always a motive behind a stranger's kindness.
What do you want? Wealth? Fame? Social status? Or a new arcane skill?
You. I messed up.
People like you have similar purposes.
Stage 4. Part Ways. The young man nods, looking much as the bird expected. Yet his barrage of questions catches Getian off guard.
so,
How might I make this wish? Is there a ritual one needs to perform? And how is it that you grant these wishes?
really?
And is it true that you are capable of bringing abundance like the legendary Firebird? Or are you Koschei himself merely hiding in a bird's body? Leonid sounds very familiar with these names, his face containing a joyful smile as he mentions them.
Anyway, whatever creature you are, I would like to ask you for a story.
A story?
Yes, that's right.
A story you didn't finish. You told me the backstory of your wand, and it already revealed much about your people. I appreciate you letting me peek into your people's lives like that.
I hope to.
So I wish that you would finish it. And if you would need something in return, I will tell you everything you like, or everything even, so long as it's not classified.
Seriously?
I enjoy collecting all kinds of stories and finding out the truth behind them, and especially a legend from the eastern land we know so little about. If you're wondering as my motive, your information will undoubtedly be important to the Foundation. It may even prove useful for my career. So in the end, you are seeking higher status. Not truly, no. But if you'd like to think of it that way, I don't mind. The man shrugs his shoulders before leaning back and towards Getian.
In fact,
You were reluctant to leave the mountain in your story, but now here we are talking in this room. Why did you leave? Did your curiosity finally get the better of you? Your story will answer my questions, and perhaps my intel could be useful for you in turn. I asked myself that question many times, and never arrived on a simple answer. But I
That's
don't
no matter.
But I don't mind giving it a try. But as you said, "Aw, did you see what he did? That's a new move." But as you said, we're exchanging information that may be useful to the other, and I've provided some of mine. It's your turn now.
so,
I guess you'll ask me about the Foundation, right? I believe I understand that your Foundation is like the Jutsu in my homeland, the authority at the least.
However,
And that your arcane skill is of a rare kind and talent. The image was so real that I hadn't doubted it until the very end. Such a skill could only be the result of generations of cultivation, I'm sure. But I've only seen it once among the bones I've seen. So where did you learn it from?
no, that's not true.
I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. What you saw wasn't an arcane skill at all. I don't know that any arcanists in our foundation could do this with arcane skills alone, not even our best.
In fact,
No, what you saw here was produced by a machine, given a little ingenuity on our part. Though I admit, it probably looks like a magic to most people. Officially it's called artificial somnambulism.
That's true.
Yes, I remember. You mentioned it before. The city, the old man, the ladies I asked you about were all produced from your memories. Your subconscious tricked you into rationalizing what you saw as real. Essentially, you built the dream around yourself, so it's only natural that you believed it as real. The bird tries to match Leonid's words with his experiences. This machine must be some kind of mechanical device, and his subconsciousness must refer to the impressions of one's own mind. And if that is the case, the function of this artificial somnambulism becomes obvious. So this device reads one's mind and creates an illusion using replicas built from one's own memories. In a way, it functions quite similar to the arcane skill I had seen before.
No worries.
From the sounds of it, yes, but please don't be alarmed.
In fact,
The artificial somnambulism guidance specifies the scope of content that operators are allowed to access. We can see the parts of your mind that you refuse to show, not that we would ever try. It would be a severe violation of one's personal rights, after all. You're a rare case. I had access to that entire city and all those people in your mind. Not to imply that you're careless, but it seems you trust others easily.
I guess
Your hometown
your
has a...
hometown has a friendly and tolerant atmosphere.
Sorry?
No.
Not exactly. That's one of the reasons why I left the mountain. Much of what I know comes... Oh my god, stop doing this, it's cute! Much of what I know comes from the people's bones, but there is a limit to what I can learn. I cannot know what they've forgotten or what they refuse to tell. But I find myself more than a little confused as we continue our conversation. You desire something, yet refuse to admit it. You invented a method to read people's mind, yet impose so many restrictions on it. When my people left the mountain, humans begged them to grant their wishes, yet at the same time, they suspected my people of evil intentions. When my kind were still alive, some humans thought we were sent by their deities, while others grew bitter, thinking our help was demeaning. And as we died out one by one, some cheered and some cried. Now, I sense you have no intention to push me, yet you're not going to let me go either. You try to be nice and show sincerity, yet I sense a nervousness in my every movement.
It is.
It seems you humans really are inconsistent. He's wanna talk. Mister, I don't wanna help anybody. I wanna go back to my mountain. But yeah, I'm gonna help you anyway. After all, wasn't Vesper that told him that your words contradict your actions? All of you do speak of inconsistency, my dude. But what I do not understand is what this has to do with my homeland.
Exactly.
Inconsistent? Yes, I suppose we can be, but most people never question their own inconsistencies.
Seriously.
But I know this is no small question for you, and that's why I think we're in a position to help each other. If you tell me more about your home, then I'll have more of the information I need, and then maybe we can work out just why it is we humans can be so inconsistent.
So?
It's likely not every detail will be useful, but why not give it a try? The young man leans forward again, like pressing a weight against the bird, hoping for a response. Getian takes notice at that movement that the young man's neck bones shine brighter whenever he mentions a legend from the east. And now they are practically glowing. Please?
I hope to hear everything that happened somewhere far away from here. And in the name of Leonid, I swear, I will never use the story for any evil purposes.
Oh, so Leonid is his surname, I'm guessing. Are there more cuties like you? I know that word of mouth doesn't always ring true, and that a story told from just one perspective can never give a full impression. But I can't stop myself from chasing this story to its end. The man's driving curiosity might have come off too strong if Getian hadn't felt it himself before. His race's arcane skill allowed them to read other creatures' minds, yet the animals of the mountain had little occupied their minds except for the daily survival. The birds didn't truly understand what being curious was like until they found a race with minds more than their own, creatures that could communicate using words, that could invent and imagine new things. From this race, the birds learned how to use fire and how to write down their thoughts, and finally they learned to be curious. Now the bird suddenly realizes what he and the young man share in common.
what attracts you is not necessarily good for you.
That's him silently saying curiosity killed the cat. He held in a sigh. I see. But never knowing would even be worse for me. Very well. I already intempered a hexagram for my friends before I came here. It said one should go with the flow.
All right.
So I have decided that I will just go with the flow. You haven't returned my pendant yet. Shall we start from here?
My pleasure.
I'm listening, and with great anticipation, let me say. In fact, its former owner was a bit like you. Really? I'm honored you'd say so. The young man cuts his reply short, prodding the bird to continue. But I suppose, when I think back on it, it seems a trait that all humans share. Curiosity? Getian glances at the young man, tilting his head. Leonid can sense there is compliment behind the bird's expression, as if he were an old man rustling a boy's hair with a smile.
Sorry.
Could I ask how old you are? I don't know how to tell how old a bird looks, but you don't seem old. So, would you be, say, my father's age? No, likely not. Don't tell me you're as old as my grandfather.
I'm much older than your great-great-grandfather, I'm afraid.
The young man's confusion seems more natural to his face and his smile. Taking a deep breath, the bird begins to tell the story. This jade pendant belonged to 2 others before it came to me. Okay, the trailer was misleading. The story has nothing to do with just one person. That Getian lost, I mean. Stage 5, Heart of Flesh. In my homeland, the people living under the mountain had a preference for jade wares. I can only scarcely remember when those delicate jade pendants first came into fashion in the city. They resembled their coins, rounded with a hole in the center. Some were glossy green, others pale white. They would feel warm if kept close to the body. Perhaps that's why it was worth so much. I first saw it on the belt of a scholar. I pray, keep us safe, this place. What is that? He raises his head from behind his wings and to look down through the leaves. This is not the first time he has heard a human here. Another seeker of blessing. I wonder why they put so much trust in the power of this tree. Perhaps they do this simply for peace of mind. I suppose it doesn't matter. Good day to you, young master. I've seen you up here a lot of late. Here to pray for the exam. You have shown good devotion. The tree fairy will surely look after you. I can only hope to be so blessed.
I come here to pray every day. But I do so just to reassure myself. In case I become too nervous in the exam to remember what I've learned.
You ought to play some music underneath the tree. People say they hear songs coming down from the tree, but no one has ever seen any bird or man playing it. We figure it's a fairy. And if you play music to please her, the fairy might give you her blessing. Getian never expected he'd be the cause of the superstition. And a fairy. Out of everything. He had just learned a song from the bones. It had been a quiet day and he was practicing. Who would have thought it could be so misconstrued? Would I be swaying the fairy's judgment if I did so? I should just say my wishes as they are. Then it's the fairy's choice to grant them or not. They converse for a little longer until the second voice begins to fade away. Now the only voice is the one which woke him from his dream. I wish for the people here to live a life of peace, safe from disaster, and that their hard work will be rewarded with bountiful harvests, that merchants will be safe on their journeys. His wishes are all about others. How curious. He loses himself momentarily in thought before casting another glance down to him. that backbone. He may make a good counselor in the court. He rarely read other creatures' bones outside of his own people. Bone reading so often makes one curious, and curiosity in turn could be the cause of many troubles. See, I told you he doesn't like curiosity! Even when he wanted to read another creature's bones, he would inevitably talk himself out of it. He tries, with some difficulty, to not make this an exception.
Pity he will live a disturbed life. Over-righteousness often comes with misfortune.
He will die for his beliefs. I cannot help but wonder if it might be No, it's none of my concern. Getian pulls back his glance from a man in his bones. But the voice inches closer. I must set out tomorrow.
Let me see. I don't have anything valuable, actually. I'll just leave this here, as a token of sincerity.
I promise to return with better offerings to show my gratitude, well, if my wishes come true, that is. As a man approaches the tree, the bird withdraws more deeply into the leaves. There is a rustling of fabric and grass. Something is put on the ground. Right, this should do it. Farewell. Getian cannot dare to look until it's all quiet again. Below him now is a jade pendant, the same that had hung on the young man's belt. The bird ponders for a moment and puts it into the tree's hollow. Nobody will look inside the tree hollow. It's safer here. Oh, he's so kind. Should he come back to look for it, I will find a way to return it to him. What is lost must be returned, so one may be spared unwanted troubles. The thought put his mind at ease, and he returns to his sleep. After the young scholar left, life in the forest became quiet again. I spent many long hours in that tree, napping or just listening to the wind. But the scholar never returned. Perhaps it is just as his bones foretold, that he was taken by death, young. Even if I was wrong, mortal lives are short, the pendant no longer had a master.
However,
until I met its second owner.
So this is the tree Father mentioned. It's more flourishing than I imagined.
I wouldn't be surprised if there truly was a fairy here. I haven't seen many blessing seekers for some time. It seemed now that people only gathered under the tree to talk and laugh before parting ways. Humans. Seeing this young man recalls a similar scene. His bones are strangely similar to those of the young scholar who visited so many years ago. He foresees that this man too will meet a similar end.
I thought people in the outside world cherished their lives more than anything. How come he would rather die than stand by? It's meaningless.
I mean, oftentimes I wonder too how people can be this stupid to push themselves to their limit. But standing by is also not an option for some people. Or for everyone as a whole, because like I said, standing by at something could eat your life. But that's different from everyone. Some people don't want to stand by life, some others don't want to stay at one specific place. In love even, some people don't want to stay with one person. Yeah, standing by is not something humans like, one way or another. Not in everything, but yeah.
Risking your life just to say something that might not even be adopted. How reckless. It's not worth it. If this is political, I'm sure it's worth mentioning, even if it doesn't get adopted, because it was thanks to rebelling that many unfair politics were destroyed over the years. So if this is this type of thing, then it's not bad to rebel and speak up about something you find to be unfair. Is this necessary?
For him, spending so much time in this tree, well, perhaps it's merely habit, but this is where the humans come to make their wishes. And he listens to their requests, trying to understand what draws his race to them. He no longer blames his people for leaving home behind. Still, he is puzzled. Why did you go into the human world? Why did you sacrifice yourself? Father, the places you used to talk about, I visit them all. You warned me not to follow in your footsteps, but I chose this path on my own.
Besides, I've already seen the beauty of the world. I can't bear to watch it being ruined.
Getian listened silently from the treetop. This had been the moment to return the pendant.
Such a beautiful tree should stay here alone, so it won't be destroyed.
Enough empty words. I've made up my mind. The young man walks away with determination, never looking back. The bird knows at that moment he will never see him again. From then on, he found himself returning to the hollow to check on the pendant. Within a few short days, his prediction appears to come true, as I thought. What could he have gained from this desperate course of action? The jade, now broken, seems like a little more than the amount of pebbles. I tried to repair it, doing the best I could. Afterward, I tied it to the end of my bone flute. I thought maybe I would come to understand them more by repairing the
They
jade.
struggled for what they knew was impossible, and even died for it unknowingly, just like my people.
Dude, if you have a goal or a cause, sometimes you die for it. It is what it is. I mean, let's be real, he did risk his life as well by helping Besmet when he was cornered, right? So, in a way, I think now he gets it, that sometimes you have to make sacrifices or risk things in order to achieve stuff you want or get the answers you want, because, you know, it's like the divination he got, that he has to go with the flow finally and not overthink and stay, rigid to his opinions. Not long after that, a strange rumor went around the village that people there were being mysteriously turned into horses. I decided to find out what really happened.
Turns out, I'm also part of the story.